Okay, let's go. Let's start the next session. If you're all ready and had a nice cup of tea and coffee and some refreshments, please take a seat. So, ultra reliable, high speed, low latency wireless communication. That's the promise of industrial 5G. But I wonder how far we've come in the last few years. Where are we going? And what are some of the benefits being seen by early adopters in manufacturing and logistics and in the energy sectors? So these questions and more are set to be addressed and answered in this second session of the day, which is Industrial 5G, Connecting the Smart Factory. And this is going to feature 4 presenters from 4 different parts of the 5G ecosystem. So let me introduce the first speaker, and his name is Terence Wong, and Terence is the head of APAC 5G industry at GSMA. And his presentation, as you can see there, the impact of 5G creating new value across industries in Asia Pacific. So Terence, all yours. Thank you very much.
Hi, good morning. Thanks Bob for introducing me. I'm from GSMA. So I think most of you, for sure, you may not know GSMA. GSMA, actually, we are a NGO. We are from the Mobile Industry Association. We have members all around the world. So almost every mobile operator, they get a licensed spectrum to roll out their cellular network, 4G, 2G, or right now 5G. They will become the GSMA member by default. Because we own some IPR, we support all the network interoperability. When you have a mobile phone, right, you use the phone, you can go to anywhere in China, US, Japan, using the same standard. Actually, it's driven by our industry. So this is the beauty of the single universal network. And then, of course, we also have a lot of members beyond the mobile operator, a lot of network provider, chipset, even the hyperscaler like Microsoft, Google, they also join GSMA as member because our industry become more impactful to other sector. So you see when you grab a car, you use the devices, you use the connectivity. And when you are buying something, you're using the e-commerce platform in your mobile phone devices. So when you, right, in the next level, of course, when we talk about autonomous driving, when you talk about the drone flying in the sky, you have to have a good network to cover them. Otherwise, you will not trust a device flying around or running around autonomously. You have to know them. You have to securely provide a network to monitor all these kind of devices, including a lot of robots coming. So this is what GSMA is doing. So we work very closely with Ministry of Communication, and sometimes we also work with Ministry of Industry because a lot of ministry like agriculture, transportation, manufacturing, they all looking forward to adopt the technology to support digital transformation. So this is the GSMA. So today I'm just have a very quick overview about the mobile landscape and the 5G landscape, and then we'll quickly jump into the 5G technology, how it impacts the region APAC. So for 5G, for the cellular connectivity, actually, as of today, there are already 5.8 billion unique subscribers using the technology cellular connectivity, whether it could be 2G, 3G, 4G, or 5G. And then moving forward to 2030, we expect there will be 6.5 billion of mobile users, so they will use the technology. And then in APAC, right now we have around 2 billion people using the cellular connectivity, and then we will jump to 2.3 by 2030. If you're talking about the technology, since there are many technologies, 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G right now, some operator already shut down 2G and 3G and just leave 4G and 5G. Globally, I think Europe still have a lot of 2G network, but in our region APAC, actually we are doing quite good because I think some of speakers also mentioned we start quickly from mobile internet. So right now, we already have 70% of people using 4G, and only 80% of people using 5G. But moving to 2030, it will change. More than half, 58% of people will use 5G in APAC, and then 48% will use 4G, and then the rest will be maybe some 3G, 2G network. So I think for the GDP in the last year, the APAC average is around 4.5, something like that. It's 4.1 in 2024. It's slightly less before the pandemic period, which is around 4.5 on average. Of course, I think everyone aware right now we also suffer from the trade war and also some of the aging population in APAC, especially in North Asia. So we start to seeing the GDP actually also impact, slow down. But we believe the new technology like 4G, 5G, it will create additional benefit. So as of today, 6.1% of GDP is contributed by the mobile industry, directly and indirectly. Directly, of course, from our operator, they invest in the infrastructure, building a lot of content running on top of the devices. And indirectly, it also impacts for many industries use the technology to develop their application, to develop their mobile services. So it contributes more than close to 6 billion out of 600 billion out of the almost 1 trillion economy. And this impact will be continuous up to 2030. We forecast the mobile economy will impact creating 1.4 trillion business value for all different sectors. So obviously, you see manufacturing in the bottom line is the most beneficial one. In the region, we're already seeing some large MNC, when they set up greenfield factory, they start to use 5G. So regarding about the rollout, actually already 5G is the faster adaptation technology so fast. Right now, we already have half of the world already roll out the technology, more than 131 countries. And by 2030, almost all the world will roll out 5G. Okay, and the penetration of the connection will be from 2.3 billion right now, talking about 26%, jump to 5.7 billion for 5G adaptation, and which means about 57%. If we break down into different regions, actually APAC is the very dominant in terms of the connection. So 5G connection from APAC itself will be contribute for 60% of the overall global 5G connection. It is 3.3 billion out of the 5.7 billion. Quite significant. So because we have huge population here, we also are the biggest manufacturing center in the world. So we create a lot of IoT connection besides the consumer connection. So 5G actually is an evolving standard, and it will be moving towards 6G. I think most of you may not aware 6G is already ongoing, being developed. So in between, actually, there are 5G SA, 5G Advanced. 5G SA is already rolled out by all the Singapore operators here. Actually, APAC and Europe are the leading region rolling out 5G SA standard. So let's take a look at detail about the 5G. So 5G comes with the most 3 important attributes. So I think one of the most common one you're all using in your mobile phone is the bandwidth, right? You need a lot of bandwidth. Right now, a lot of video, a lot of data using in your mobile phone. So we need more and more bandwidth. So 5G can support a wireless fiber at your hand up to 1 gigabit throughput and 1020 in the 5G Advanced. So I think in your mobile phone, you may not experience, you may not need gigabit throughput or even 10 or 20 gigabit throughput, but it can provide that. So that's why we talk about industrial 5G. Okay, and then it can 5G SA, which is on the release 16, they provide very low latency, down to 10 milliseconds, which means a lot of autonomous vehicle, robot, drone, or you can do remote driving, remote control machine. It all can be achieved with low latency. And of course, it also provides super bandwidth for uplink as well. For consumer, you may always use downlink. But for IoT, for industrial use case, it needs a lot of uplink. Talking about all the factory floor covering with AI inspection, all the robot walking around, all the radar information you have to uplift, right? All the digital twin information have to create on time, right? So this all require a lot of uplink. So this is how 5G being decided and being implemented. And of course, it also have to cover a lot of devices. So talking about 5G can connect a million devices in a square kilometer density, right? So it can connect to many machines. So you see in this feature attribute in the circle, we also have very specific feature for 5G, like the V2X, which is supporting autonomous driving and also autonomous drone in the sky. And then it also have the TSN and also the deterministic network feature, which is very critical for critical infrastructure communication like industrial IoT or public safety. And then it also support private network, talking about private network warming into private network warming into public network, and then vice versa. So this all can be supported by 5G. And then of course there are also different kind of IoT capability, including WebCat. So this is another dimension to look at 5G. 5G is not only connect to one type of IoT devices or one type of consumer devices. It has different kind of features. It can support sensor, meter, consume very low power, living for 10 years without people, to go to change the battery. But of course, it only consumes very little bandwidth, talking about less than 1 megabit per second. It can also support mid-range of devices to doing the supervision, doing the access control, sending the data more frequent. We call it reduced capability of 5G, WebCap, which is already rolled out in release 17 and also 18. It is very compatible with the existing LTE, Cat 1 and Cat 4, but it still supports the low latency, down to 10 milliseconds. And then, of course, we also have critical IoT infrastructure for low latency for autonomous vehicle, V2X. I think there are different scenarios for deployment. We already documented in our website. Welcome to download. As I mentioned, a lot of operators like Singtel, M1, StarHub here, they already invest a lot of money for the public network. But actually, this public network with 5G, it can be do the network slicing because all are running in virtualization. You can slicing the radio resources, the core network infrastructure, and also dedicate resources for computing power at the edge for a local premises, in a hospital, in a factory. So if you are a SME, you don't want to invest your own private network yourself. Actually, you can ask Singtel, M1 or StarHub. They can slide the radio resources for you, and then also put in dedicated computing power into your site on premises to support you. So that investment is very minimal. And then, of course, you can also, as an MNC, you want to control everything. You want to have your own device certification. You want to control the security. Everything you want to own by yourself. You can work with the operator for dedicated spectrum to support you to build your own private network. And then in between, you can also have a hybrid network, talking about some part of the network is in private, and then some part of use case using the public network. And then you can do this hybrid model as well. So it's a very flexible architecture. So I think I already mentioned some of the features in the 5G Advanced. One thing we want to highlight, 5G actually is evolving technology. So we come with new features like supporting interoperability with the non-terrestrial network, like the LEO satellite or the GEO satellite. You can seamless switch over the connectivity. You don't have to do anything. But then, as long as your device support come with the chipset and you subscribe a pen that could be roaming anywhere, even in the ocean or in the sky, it still got the connectivity. It is talking about interoperability between end-to-end network, non-terrestrial network. And also the new feature come with the passive IoT, or some people call embedded IoT, which means that you can have batteryless devices tagged with just like RFID, but the performance is much better than RFID, talking about 10 times coverage, and also outdoor coverage as well. Using the 5G network, it can charging up the devices, still collecting the data for batteryless devices. So this is called embedded IoT. And also 5G also come with a sensing network, so it can sense the object and then optimize the network to support different kind of devices, and also doing the location services as well. In APAC, we already have a lot of greenhouse factory already roll out 5G, not only in China, Japan, or Korea, but even Southeast Asia, like Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand. So Singapore, I think there are many cases like the Hyundai Motor Group. They actually have some part of the factory open for visitor. If you're interested, they are very advanced. They're using the concept of a modular production line. So they don't have conveyor belt because everything connected with wireless. So their production line actually can move around to reassemble for creating new product. So today I want to share you a factory in Indonesia. I just visited on April. They brand new open. So I think Packaging, most of you may know about Packaging. They produce a lot of consumer product, including Apple iPhone is also one of the manufacturer. So they adopt 5G into their factory floor already. The reason why they consider 5G, of course, they see the flexibility of 5G for a greenfield factory. They don't have to lay down the cable. When they do the reconfiguration, it's very quick because low wire, low cable. It reduces the material costs of setting up and also the labor cost for setting up the network. Very fast, very quick. So I think some people already mentioned the AI use case. Of course, the 5G can always on factory. It will allow a continuous connection, very stable, and then it could connect a lot of robot and AGV, AMR, and of course a lot of high definition camera, which used for AI inspection. So they all deploy a huge density of this kind of AI inspection and robot in the factory. And then also, they do a lot of, using a lot of AI camera for surveillance, monitoring all the workflow, the people moving around, the object, and then alert the people quickly using the very stable connectivity. So another use case is very common right now in APAC region. As I mentioned, APAC is the manufacturing hub, but also the logistic hub, because we have to import, export a lot of things. So almost globally, all the top 20 container port already use 5G or implementing 5G, including Singapore, right? So I think for a lot of challenge right now, the container port, they are very difficult to forecast because of the trade war. They are very difficult. Sometimes they have to handle a very peak traffic in very short time. So it makes them very difficult, sending the people in and out. So they prefer use more automation way to do the container, handling the traffic, handling the whistle. So this is a case from Thailand. It's self-explainable video I'm going to show you. They use 5G to connect for the people, for the truck, for the crane. So people right now is remotely control the crane inside an air-conditioned room. It's more efficient, more safe. So let's see the video.
ฮัชชิสันพอร์ตประเทศไทยเราเป็นผู้ประกอบการท่าเทียบเรือตู้สินค้าในท่าเรือแหลมฉบังที่นี่เราเน้นการดำเนินธุรกิจอย่างยั่งยืนใส่ใจต่อสิ่งแวดล้อมและสังคมรวมทั้งบุคลากรผู้ร่วมงานและผู้ใช้บริการเราจึงมุ่งมั่นปรับปรุงและพัฒนาการให้บริการโดยการนำเทคโนโลยีที่ทันสมัยเป็นมิตรต่อสิ่งแวดล้อมใช้พลังงานอย่างมีประสิทธิภาพเน้นความปลอดภัยและสร้างบรรยากาศที่ดีในการทำงาน นักท่าเทียบเรือชุดดีเราพัฒนาระบบ Smart Seaport โดยมีปั้นจั่นยกตู้สินค้าหน้าท่าและในลานตู้สินค้าควบคุมจากระยะไกลหรือ Remote Control Operation และการนำรถบรรทุกอัตโนมัติไร้คนขับซึ่งถือเป็นท่าเทียบเรือแห่งแรกของโลกที่นำรถบรรทุกประเภทนี้เข้ามาปฏิบัติงานในเส้นทางจราจรร่วมกับรถบรรทุกที่มีคนขับนอกจากนี้เราให้บริการระบบออโตเมตเกตทำให้ลูกค้ารถบรรทุกตู้สินค้าสามารถผ่านเข้าออกท่าด้วยระบบอัตโนมัติและดำเนินการได้ด้วยตนเองเราพัฒนาระบบเชื่อมโยงข้อมูลระหว่างผู้ใช้บริการกับท่าเทียบเรือโดยมีโมบายแอปพลิเคชันชื่อว่า UBI ที่ช่วยเพิ่มประสิทธิภาพและลดเวลาการทำงานระบบต่างๆได้ทำงานบนโครงสร้างพื้นฐานดิจิทัลเช่นเครือข่ายระบบ 5G ที่ช่วยให้เราปรับปรุงเปลี่ยนแปลงพัฒนาการทำงานทั้งในปัจจุบันและในอนาคตทั้งนี้เราได้ทำงานร่วมกับพันธมิตรทั้งภาครัฐและเอกชนเพื่อพัฒนาธุรกิจแบบยั่งยืนตอกย้ำพันธกิจของ Hutchison Port the world's leading port network
Okay, I think very similarly in open area, actually cellular technology is very powerful and very easy. So this is also another case using in the mining industry in Australia. So they're using 5G, of course, to replace Wi-Fi, which one single radio can cover 2.5 kilometers. They can allow the driver to remote control all the dozer feed very safely, because the uplink can allow more than close to 200 megabit. So that's how 5G being enable IoT, robot, XR, digital twin, all these kind of things. There are many cases, so I don't have time to talk every one of them, but we have a community to support. If you have any interest, to learn more about how 5G being adopted in different industry, in healthcare, in manufacturing, in transportation, or smart city, or public safety, we have a community. We work with government, we work with different industry associations, including ARC, try to promote 5G to you. So welcome to join the community. We have many case studies, we have many webinar and also physical workshop already done, so many information can be accessed in our website. Thank you very much.
So we don't have a panel discussion for this session, so there is an opportunity to ask any questions you like to the speakers directly. So if you have any questions that you want to address to Terence from GSMA, now's your chance. Any questions about 5G? Yes, one in the center over there.
Thank you very much. I'm Deepak. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. I wish to know, one, how is going to be security? Because you're saying your network is going all over places, then anyone can interfere easily if they understand your network very well. Second, I have seen whenever we use this kind of 5G network, draining of batteries at faster rate. So do you have any ways to optimize that? Okay, thank you.
Okay. Actually, I think GSMA, we are supporting all of you using 5G or 4G network in last 20 years, right? So the security is the highest concern always. So for the standard actually is decided by VGPP. It's security in design by default. And of course, the encryption, everything, we also ongoing, doing a lot of analysis. So I think most of you right now concerned is the quantum computing, the crypto safety. So we're also working on quantum safe network. So we already have a lot of security guideline. Our network actually need to be certified by the by some accreditation scheme, including a SIM card, because end-to-end the devices into the network, we have the certification standard. So globally, all our members, they have to follow. So we surely very concerned the security, especially for not only consumer. Consumer, of course, they will complain, right? If they have any problem, our operator will, you will on the news, right? And for industrial 5G, of course, we also have the standard to support. And very welcome to work with you to define the standard to fit for your best practice right? I think this is very important. If we want to drive scale, we need to work with different industry associations to make sure this standard is well adopted. And then first, for the second question about the efficiency, yes, 5G, if you use the critical 5G, like what I mentioned, the gigabit throughput, it definitely consumes a lot of power because physical, right? It's a physics. If you send more data, you will definitely use more battery power. That's why I'm saying that our network can support different kind of devices from some meter sensoring. They may send data once a day for a water meter, right? So that kind of devices, they can use battery, they can last for 10 years without changing the battery. So that's why the network can support different kind of devices. And then we're based on the device characteristic to optimize the handover, the handshaking protocol. So welcome to discuss more, and then we have to know your use case, how to optimize for the efficiency for the devices communication.
All right, thank you for the question, and thank you for that response, Terence. So yeah, let's give our thanks to Terence Wong from GSMA. Okay.